Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a bonus general message. These are the ones that I start out usually with an anecdote about my dog, but quickly before I start that, don't forget in the description box you will find a free link that'll take you to a video that tells you all about our upcoming Christmas party. Don't miss out on your chance to win. You'll do that in that video, and then I'll see everybody tomorrow at 6 a.m. for the actual party on December 1st. All right, so now for this storytelling, what I'm going to say is for an anecdote about my dog, Aries has this one, I don't know if I would call it his punishment pillow or what, but when he gets either all crazy, spicy, and gets the zoomies, or when he's like frustrated, he has this one little pillow. It's my couch pillow, but it's since he was a pup, it's his go-to. It's probably because it's a smaller round one, and he grabs it and shakes it around the house the way only a blue healer can whip things, and it was so funny because sometimes he takes his punishment pillow and shakes it all around the house, but he rarely takes it to a whole different room. So I guess where he was most frustrated was he didn't want me to shower this morning because I was supposed to be doing other things, taking him out or, whatever it was that it was in his doggy mind. So he apparently went and got his punishment pillow and shook it all the way into the nearest bedroom and left it there on the bed with a disastrously rumpled up comforter. And I was like, okay, apparently my dog is showing me his displeasure. So, hey, shout out to you in London, darling. Hey, Tasha. Anyway, so let's keep the idea of there's evidence of someone's frustration, okay? And I kind of think it's hilarious. Ooh, okay. We have pink, compassion, love, femininity, and playfulness. And we have purple, spirituality, imagination, mystery, and royalty. Well, this is not the person who is feeling frustrated. I also, before I even turned this on, a song that I listened to a long time ago, and then again fairly recently, just started playing in my house, which I thought was funny because that happened today, and I didn't have music on, but it was in the queue without me realizing it. And so after a podcast, this came on early this morning, and it's one by Labyrinth. I'm in my feels, and I feel like that that's a song of love, but it's love that comes with a huge amount of frustration. So I'm wondering, we've got Libra, we've got Justice, and it's in the reverse. It is someone really frustrated because they'd like to repair something, fix something, set something right with a person who they view as very feminine, very soft, very lovely, very spiritual, very mysterious, someone who they view as royalty, someone who they view in this elevated way. This could be a Libra who's frustrated, but let's see. Tell me just about the Justice card. Tell me just about the Justice card. 9 of Wands, 4 of Cups. So yeah, this character has a lot of regrets. So I'm going to just double down right now and say it looks like it may be, just based off of what we see on the card, this could be a divine masculine that is incredibly frustrated, fatigued, feeling beat down, feeling exhausted because of the amount of regrets that they have, because it seems so clear what needs to be fixed now. In their opinion, what is it that needs to be fixed? For me, when Justice is in the reverse, it says these are the things that have to be repaired. Page of Swords, I said what needs to be fixed, and it says, well, on one hand, there's this is the spying energy. This is almost like the more have they been watching her and identifying and getting to the point of understanding her better? Is that what this is saying? They have the little guide sitting there on their shoulder, and they have another flying in. It feels like maybe that's why it's so frustrating, because they see things so differently now. Maybe they understand her better. Maybe because the Page of Swords is about gathering information. Now, sometimes we say it's the spy of the deck, but essentially it's gathering information, gathering knowledge to understand a scenario better. Wow. Ace of Cups in the World card. Oh, it's a completely different way. I will definitely say with the eyeball in the sky and the cosmos up here, this World card, Capricorn energy, by the way, but I will definitely say that to me it looks like maybe they didn't know what a loving person and I'm just going to keep saying she because we have the femininity aspect on that. But please remember, I don't read for genders. These fictional stories can be about any arrangement of characters. It's like the more they have watched her, the more they have recognized they got her all wrong. I think that they are seeing her as a very loving individual. I feel like if only they had known this when they dealt with her, if only they had seen it this way, if only their eyes had been open to, maybe they just didn't understand her. They didn't get it. They didn't see what kind of a person she was. They didn't understand the way she loves. It's a great song by Aaron Neville. That's the way she loves. And in it, there's something about she will go to the end and back for her man. I'm wondering if they didn't know she was ride or die. It's a great song. I haven't heard that song in forever. I got to go listen to that Aaron Neville song. Love Aaron Neville. Such a great artist. With that Four of Swords, there's so much here that they would like to heal. And it could even be that spying on her, and I do say this person has been spying on her, and seeing something really loving about her may have actually like opened their eyes to something new, and that it could have even helped them, even though they haven't like been involved with her, I think, in a while. Why have they continued to spy, I'll say? Let me just ask that. Spirit of Pentacles, she's coming across as a Queen of Pentacles. So a Queen of Pentacles is incredibly nurturing. There's something, if you've ever walked into, like, say you're having a bad day and you go into a store and the person who rings you up just has like that really warm energy, and they just have a way of, making things sound okay. Or like, how sometimes, I don't know, not everyone's lucky enough to have someone in their life like this. But I've known people unrelated to me that I could identify as like a nice grandfather figure, where they just had a way of, saying stuff to where it kind of sounds like, it's not going to be that bad after all. It almost feels like she has that kind of quality, that kind of energy. Maybe it's the tone that she uses. Maybe it's the way it's like, the focus is on growth. It's not on stagnation. It's not on the negative. It's on, developing. And that could be extremely loveless. By the way, we have Libra, Taurus, and then we have Virgo, Gemini. We have oneness. Okay, so they're definitely manifesting having a beautiful connection with an Empress that they're going to treat really, really well. Now, is it possible that they're going to treat some other feminine really, really well because they learned something about, like, maybe this is a character who had like, issues with the divine feminine, and seeing or experiencing something beautiful in this Queen of Pentacles help them reshape how they view the divine feminine. Maybe they used to think of a divine feminine as their enemy, like an inherent enemy to them, and they don't feel that way anymore. That's one impression. But I can't say that yet. This could also be that they want to come back and they want to treat this Queen of Pentacles really well. But this has to be answered first. What is the Queen of Swords in the reverse here for? I mean, this is angry. This is hurt words. This is pain. Well, we've got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, and we've got the embodiment of Pentacles, which is the King of Pentacles upright. This is starting to make me feel like it's all one and the same. I said, what are they going to do with their newfound like understanding and this? Because this is a new chapter of life that's being written with that World card. And we see them having a fabulous manifestation with an Empress. But when it comes to hurt, angry words, boundaries being trespassed upon, this is what they're going to do. It's dealing with that. It's realizing what was so trespassed upon is that there was nothing given, and it's like it's being replenished now. They are giving. Because I feel like this is their action, I'm inclined to say all of this fits together. I think it's that they are finally saying, I get it now. I understand, because maybe this Queen of Pentacles became a real bitter, real angry Queen of Swords in the reverse, told them off up one side and down the other. They were giving, they were nurturing, and maybe they thought, oh, whatever, she's just all pissed off. No, she probably got pissed off when the giving and the nurturing was being met with absolutely nothing, not even respect. And if they only just now realize that, it's like, oh my God, I get it. I get what she was offering. I get that she was in a whole different headspace. She was like, basically, they were in like a dry desert and she was in this green pasture. They didn't know the difference. They didn't realize maybe what a healthy offering looked like. They didn't offer anything in return. She might have tried to say, this is, it's so hurtful. This is, you keep trespassing boundaries. You keep, you know, disrespecting or something what I have to offer. And they just saw it as her being mad. And now they're like, no, I get it. Because this is a perfectly matched pair. This is a perfectly matched pair as far as like a king and a queen of pentacles that are going to give and receive and share equally. Meanwhile, it's more than that though. I feel like they actually want to come into a union with the person that they see as their empress. They may want to have a child with this person. They may, that or there's some, I don't know, elephants are about memories for me. Maybe once upon a time they spoke about wanting children with her, or maybe now they're like, God, I would love to like have a family unit with her, whether or not that's possible. And a baby can represent anything that they build together. It doesn't have to be a human child. But this is definitely someone who really wants to be in a union is what it looks like. I just want to ask this, what headspace were they in back when they knew her before? I mean, obviously, since we've seen evidence of them having to have healed, we've seen evidence of them being in a lot of regret. In the past, they were in a 9 of Pentacles, but strangely paired with a 5 of Wands. A 5 of Wands, look, a 9 of Pentacles should be somebody who's like really abundant, right? Really abundant. But the 5 of Wands says it was more like they were always battling to try to find abundance. They were battling to try to feel good enough. And they could have just been battling themselves. But here we have this lion who's like flying through fist first through this nighttime jungle like a, I don't know, like a shooting star or something. It feels like they didn't have any kind of finesse. It feels like they kept trying to be the lion, the king of the jungle. The now that song by Jadena is in my head, Bambi. It's a song where he refers to himself as like a lion, and he loves this woman, but he can't be with her because of, you know, the kind of like role that he plays as like it's kind of almost like a toxic masculinity role that he's admitting he plays, but that's what keeps him away from like a really good sweet woman that he loves, but he can't bear to see her with anybody else either. But it's an interesting song. It's great melody and everything too. And I only mention all that because this made me think of that so heavily, but it's like they came in like a I don't know, sledgehammer and acted super confident about something that they weren't, all because they were trying to feel super valuable. So it might have been very much their way or the highway. Nobody can tell them anything. If anybody tries to be soft and helpful, it's like, oh, quit trying to control me. And it's like, what? I was offering you something. I wasn't telling you what you had to do. You know, it could have been really mixed messages because this person was fighting so hard to insist that they feel good enough when in fact, I don't know, this is a lot of fronting is what I see here. That would have been a very complicated situation to deal with a person in that energy, I think. So what's happened in this time that they have been away from her? What was their life like in the time that they have simply been watching from a distance? Oh, I would say it's been crap. We have a 9 of Wands in the reverse. We got a 7 of Swords in the reverse. Realizing that we've got an element of, I love this 7 of Swords card because it's so meaningful to me. 7 of Swords, you know, we can simply just say, oh, it's about, you know, lies and running away. But, oh no, seriously, the audio is off again? Oh, I am so sorry, you guys. it's not on my end is what we've discovered. It's actually that YouTube is having some glitches. Um, hmm, well, I don't know that there's any reason to continue on with this one. If it's, is it better now, Cat Queen? Okay, and Sovereign Energy can hear great. Yeah, see, that's why I know that it's not on my end, because some of you have problems and some of you don't. What I have been told in past videos is if you go ahead and reboot your screen, that may fix it. Okay, and 5 Trippy, it's good for you too, and Sybil is good. Okay, yeah, so it's only some of you guys, so please do try rebooting. I'm sorry, it's just, this is beyond my control. I wish I could fix it, but I can't, because it's a YouTube glitch instead of a Kate glitch. On the other hand, I'm so glad it's not a Kate glitch. um, Back to this card though, and forgive me if it's super stressful for you guys not being able to hear. The fact that we have a 7 of Swords, which can be about, lying, running away, but this card is so much more meaningful because what we see is a really important messenger coming in. But the messenger is being squished and strangled by this albino serpent. And the messenger was bringing in this emerald green. The green to me of the emerald is greed. The messenger is trying to say, hey, you got issues with the green-eyed monster. You got greedy energy, and that's got to change. You got to let that go. You got to quit doing that. But it's almost like the fear of change has been so extreme that a character almost wanted to just silence that messenger that comes in. So it's someone who's lying to themselves. They know darn well that they need to alter something and they desperately don't want to. So in the time frame that they have been apart from her, it's as if they have lied to themselves, and then they had to face those lies, and they knew, I've been lying to me. That's hard to have to sit there and be faced with it and go, I screwed this up. I might have blamed her, but it was me. It was me. And then this 9 of Wands, this is somebody who was absolutely exhausted, beat down. They might have pushed her to the point where she might have reacted like this, like downright ferocious. But I feel like now it's their heart that is feeling like it's like this person has been beating themselves up in a really huge way. Like, how did I screw this up? It's like I'm picturing somebody like, thunking on their coconut, going like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. And I know that it was me. Now, how do I even fix this? Well, I don't think that they could have fixed it immediately, because recognizing that they were refusing, and I do feel like there must have been a jealous streak that they had toward her, maybe a ton of jealousy, maybe simply because they're over here fronting that they're powerful when she actually was. If they see her like this, they see her as somebody compassionate, loving, feminine, playful, spiritual, imaginative, all these things. Those things made them jealous about her first, instead of realizing, oh my God, this is such a gift, that she's such a blessing in my life. I think that you guys, I know some of you are just popping in. The audio is off on YouTube's side, not on mine. If you basically jump out and refresh on your screen and come back in, that should probably fix it. But it's not my mic, it's actually YouTube issue. Okay. I know it's really tough, you guys. It's so frustrating when this happens. It happens a lot lately. Anyway, we've got issues here for this character too, and maybe that makes perfect sense. Maybe this whole glitch is happening at just the right time to fit into this story, right? For this character, maybe they were glitchy too, and it's like they were thinking it was her. It wasn't her. It's their own stuff. It's their glitch on this end, or just the cosmic glitch of something that they needed to see a little differently. But it's been a tough time for them. They have felt exhausted. They have felt like looking at the reality of the mistake that they made with her has drained them and upset them and made a very big mess for them, for their life. Okay, so Yes, Rach. I know they were glitchy too. All right, so let's see. How is she doing? Because we didn't look at her at all yet. King of Swords. Interestingly enough, she either has been pursuing her hopes, wishes, and dreams, or let's see, we have the Moon, we have the Eight of Discs, and we have the Nine of Cups. It's weird because she either has shifted into an energy of really strong masculine energy. And you notice that we have a masculine covered in dragon tattoos, which represent someone going after their dreams. And they've got their bow and arrow like an archer who's ready to shoot their dreams right out of the sky. She either is with somebody like this, or she secretly thinks about someone like this. And I say secretly because the moon is here sitting on top of it, but the moon is sideways. So there's only half of it that's hidden. If this is them, and it could be because remember we began with the Libra energy on that Justice card, and this could be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If she still thinks about them, she part of her understands that they wanted to be an alpha the way she is. She may understand. I know that I'm an alpha. I know I challenged them. I know they wanted to fight me. I know they thought I was trying to fight them. No, I was fighting for the relationship. And if only they had wanted to fight for the relationship is the lamb trapped in between these two lions. What if we had protected the relationship? We could have had great happiness. I think at minimum, though, she's saying, part of me understands that. And to simply have learned the lesson, at least now I know. Now, I mean, I'm glad to know that I can see where things were messed up and I can see how things could have been different. So it's a lesson I'll take with me, whether or not they ever have anything to do with me again. I've learned a lesson. So this could be looked at as her taking charge of something and seeing it in a certain way and saying, well, I don't want to just feel like a painful situation that I endured with somebody was just that, just pain. I need to find the lesson in it and find the thing that I can carry with me that makes it all have been worthwhile. And she's done that. But there is also this hint that she carries with her an energy of like deep down, maybe she also understands that they understand this now. I don't know, that moon card makes me question because the moon is sideways, like things are being revealed. Page of Discs. And again with the baby, we've seen a baby now on the Empress card, and now we see it here. There is something new being given birth to, and this is a card that makes me so stressed out every time I see it because we have a baby laying on a cactus. And granted, baby is perfect because it's in between the little spines of the cacti, but I still every maternal piece of me wants to reach into this card and scoop up baby and get it off the cactus just because I don't want baby's little arm to stretch out and get poked. So this card gives me serious anxiety. I hate this card, even though I adore the shape of the baby. It just feels to me like, and maybe again, this is representing, this is delicate. If they were to communicate to her and try to start something new, she may be aware of just how delicate it is, like a baby on a cactus. Like, there's a lot of prickly energy. She may even know if they come in and they say the wrong thing to me, I don't want to deal with them. If you know what, I don't want to walk on eggshells with someone, and I don't want to always be poised for what crappy thing is going to happen with us next. If they were to come in and try to rebirth something, it would be delicate. There would be some difficult moments at first. And I almost think that, and there might even be a part of her mind that's shying away from even thinking, I wonder if they have seen it differently now. I wonder if they've ever understood who I was or what I was trying to offer. There's kind of an interesting blend in here. There's definitely an anxiety, and I just say that because I, as the narrator of this story, have anxiety over that card. We got a Page of Wands. but there's still passion, and there's still something here that could get flared back up. Um, and when I say flared back up, it could be anything from passion, potentially love, or frustration, and maybe all three. And that could also explain why we have something that looks very delicate. How has her life been without them? Because I think that's really important too, to just say, how has her life been? We've got the King of Wands in the reverse and the Tower upright. This hurt. This hurt badly for her. Having dealt with someone who was trapped in their ego was probably something that kind of like it brought the house down. But see, the Tower is still a really good card. So she learned something really important after dealing with this character. Don't deal with people that are still trapped in their ego. Lynn, thank you, Angel. Thank you so much for that beautiful donation. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, everybody, for being here today and tolerating the up and down whatever's glitching on the YouTube today. I may wait and not do any more videos until late tonight just for that reason. So the fact that we've got her saying, yeah, it cracked me, it broke me, dealing with someone who could have been loving and instead was hostile, instead was egotistical, when all I wanted to do with love was love them, that sucked and it hurt and it messed me up pretty damn good. But the Tower is a good card. It maybe made her like eyes wide open to say, when you meet someone who is clearly in an ego driven energy and they can't be soft and they can't be kind and they view everything as a challenge and they just want to fight for like vying for power, and it's all because they don't really feel powerful. Let him go fight those battles someplace else. She might have learned how to let go of that, because to hold on to it would be like holding on to somebody who's throwing punches. Do we wrap our arms around me? No, I love you, and they're pow, pow, pow. No, we don't. We go, yeah, I'm going to step back so I don't get swung at. You need to go deal with that. Don't you swing those fists at me, those emotional jabs at me. By the way, I'm not referencing actual physical violence here, right? I don't talk about stories like that ever, but I'm using it as a metaphor, like spiritual swings and jabs, that kind of stuff, the ego, using words like weapons, that kind of thing. Why would we put ourselves through that? That's kind of what she learned out of this, is you shouldn't let somebody who's clearly hostile, why like reach out like, no, give me a hug, and they're acting hostile. It's like, that's not the person to try to insist that if you just let me love you good enough, you'll stop trying to, take those swings. And I think that was important for her. I think she had to learn, and that, I mean, not had to learn it that way, but yeah, the Fool in the reverse. She had to learn to let it go, to let them go, to not be the person who takes a leap of faith, even though I have every suspicion she's probably really like a brave character who would be willing to take a leap of faith and also say, hey, nobody's perfect. Hey, we all got our triggers. Hey, we all got our worries. That's okay. I'm still going to take the leap for love. She actually had to say, this situation is not one for me to jump. It would be like jumping off a cliff, but not a good kind of a cliff where then it turns out we learned how to fly. No, it would just be like a cliff and splat. Nope, don't jump off of cliffs. Not unless you got a parachute on. Like, don't do it. And I think that was a big lesson for her. Big lesson for her. At this point in time, we've seen a lot of evidence of them wanting to correct things. Knight of Swords, I don't know why, but it says on her side, they best hurry. Why? Is there something about to happen in her life? Thank you, Angel. Thank you so much. You are so generous. Thank you so much for that donation. Oh, so let me put it this way. There has been an expiration date on this learning lesson. This is very, 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 I can't stress how very soon this is expiring. She's, how do I say it? I don't want to say she's almost over it, but she's coming to a conclusion that the time, the distance, first off, I don't think these two had a very good time together, even though clearly there must have been a lot of love. But she's reached a point where she's about to say, no, I am convinced that this is not meant to be, no matter what in this lifetime. And no, I don't want to even energetically still hear from them. She's about to do a significant cord cutting, partly because she's really coming to a deep, profound belief that this was a false twin flame. This was just a lesson, and it's a lesson I never want to learn again. I don't have to learn it again. This is it. This is over. There is something about, she's been building so much of a nest for herself. And you notice how all of the components for a good life, she's about to put in her own nest. She went out and she developed every aspect of her life. This could be someone where in the time apart, she has built confidence, built a life for herself, built a business for herself, bought a house for herself, whatever it's been. She is just about to have her nest fully complete. And so the idea of them ever showing back up and contributing, she's not going to have space here for them. Her guides are telling her, be prepared because you are on the cusp of something new in your life. She's going to be meeting possibly a Taurus. And her guides are letting her know you've done well and things are just about to click in. Things are just about to click into place here for her. So if they were to come toward her, they have to act immediately, is what this says. And it may be like immediate as in like now. Like if they don't do it now, it's already going to be too late. Because there's some significant change in her world. And it's only because everything is poised. She already collected everything she needed to, and she's just putting it. It's like somebody who's got all their groceries. They've already bought the groceries, or they're walking up to go purchase the groceries. If this character does not show up to help pay for those groceries with her, then guess what? Those groceries only belong to her. And the likelihood of her sharing those groceries with someone who shows up after she's done paying for everything is nil. So it's kind of like the guides are coming in saying, something is coming. You're this close to something new. It's just that, is it going to be them? I don't know. Unless it's right now, I don't think they get a chance with her. What happens if they don't get a chance with her? Boy, I do feel like bad for them, but it will be a situation where they will stop fighting for it when they realize it's really genuinely too late. That 5 of Wands in the reverse, but more importantly, she will have this like memory wipe of them. She won't remember this person anymore. She won't analyze it anymore. They will surrender, and so will she. And this will be something that was like, well, I guess we closed out this cycle. And it's not even like maybe in another lifetime. It's like this is the end of the road. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to go. I don't know. On the other hand, if they do take action in the present, right now, what might be the outcome? Wow. There's so much possibility here. There's so much. I mean, things can be healed. A wish fulfillment can be, achieved, a new beginning, closure to like a tremendous, like maybe lifetimes old heartache can be healed in their heart. They can feel washed clean. So, this is one of those stories where it's such a great example of the different ways to look at something. A character can either, just because a relationship may or may not come back into a union does not mean that a character's life is like, oh, great. Now, if we don't do this, now it's like our whole life is going to be misery. No, it'll be different. We'll move on. We'll meet other people. They'll meet other people. This storyline will either end here if they don't take action, and both characters will simply continue to exist and they'll live fulfilling lives and they'll go in different directions, but they will finally release each other. Because we've reached a breaking point in this one. There's no more, all the lessons that needed to be learned were learned. All the knowledge that could possibly be gleaned has been gleaned. All of the awareness of what needs to happen is there. All of the admiration or appreciation, the love that they feel for her, it's already maximized. It's where it needs to be. So if they still don't take action, it's because this is done. And I don't really know why it would be done if there's all this emotion, all this intention. But here's the thing, just because people think about stuff doesn't mean they ever execute the plan, And what does that mean? That, oh my God, it's got to be devastating? No, it just means this incredible story occurred, incredible lessons were learned, incredible knowledge was gleaned, and still that's the extent of it. Maybe this is a person who needed to have an experience in their mind, not necessarily one that they would ever act out in the 3D. If they choose to act it out in the 3D, this can be saved and this can be a remarkable life together. But just because we think, there's a lot of things in my life that I think about doing, things that I would like to do, but I don't necessarily get around to. And then we keep that still in the back of our minds sometimes as like, oh yeah, I always thought that would be wonderful, but we just don't execute the plan. This could be one of those things. I mean, for me, I'm thinking about like learning to play an instrument. That's the kind of thing. But this is about matters of the heart. I do think it's a little bit sad if this character doesn't correct things, because this whole storyline has been about finding a way to, uncover things, and they've seen it and they've been frustrated and they know what they need to do. But there is still the obvious message that there's no guarantee that even with all this knowledge, this character is going to take any kind of an action. I just like the reassurance that it's going to be just fine even if they don't. It's going to be just fine even if they don't. They have marvelous lives ahead, together or apart. Let me get one final message, then we'll wrap this guy up, because this is a pretty, really long one. 8 of Pentacles. So the final message, and maybe the most important message in this entire fictional story, is the things we want in life require effort and work. That's all there is to it. Where we put tangible effort is where we see tangible results. Where we just think about it, we get nothing but thoughts. We don't, that old saying, thoughts become things. I always kind of go, thoughts become things if we allow our subconscious to then guide us toward taking actionable steps toward things. But do I think I can sit here and say, I'm going to imagine right now that there's a cup of steaming, beautiful coffee and it's here for me? No. Nope, not unless I go get it. Now, if I sit here and I say that, and then my sister's watching this, and then she, sends over a cup of coffee to me, yes. But again, that's not me thinking it into existence, right? Thoughts become things when our thoughts drive our actions in seemingly subtle ways. Now, of course, there's always chance. There's always things that can pop into our lives. And yes, there is that as well. But I think that the big message is, if they think about this and they want it and they start actually putting effort in, that's the only way it'll become tangible. No other way. So these characters are genuinely in charge of their outcome. And I think that's super empowering. I think that is, look at what humans have done. We have built massive cities and skyscrapers. We have put planes in the sky. We've sent rockets to the moon. Look at what we can do. But we don't do it just with a thought. The thought is this first part, but then we have to put the thoughts into the engineering, and then the engineering into trial and error. And then finally we build these things. Those our cities and airplanes didn't get built by us sitting here, closing our eyes and thinking them into being. We had to take action. And it's the same even if we're building a plane or if we're building a relationship. We've got to actually put in effort. And I think that's the big message for this one. I dig it. Karen Bishop, awesome. Enjoy your coffee for me. You guys, thanks for being here. And yeah, I'm glad that Some of you really experienced a bunch of audio issues. That's a YouTube thing. It's not on my mic's side. And the reason we know that is because not everybody experienced the issue. So many of you are watching, and a cluster of you had difficulties and a cluster of you didn't. So it's something to do with probably this is a live stream. So YouTube is, for whatever reason, in certain areas, it must not be moving as smoothly. Maybe it's an internet thing, or maybe it's a YouTube buffering issue. I'm not really sure. I'm not very tech savvy. All I can say is it's not on my end, so I can't fix it. But if you start from the beginning, once this live stream is ended, probably everything will be complete and you won't have that audio issue. So you guys, thanks for being here and take care. Thank you so much for giving it a thumbs up if you're here watching. And I will do other videos later on tonight. I feel like I'm getting more audio issues sometimes in the day. I'm not really sure, but that, or I'll just have to not go live for videos for a while until the glitches get worked out on YouTube, because I know it's super frustrating, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Lots of love, you guys. Bye.